All right, folks, Vitek here from Wani. With us today, we have one and only Teemu Mantysaari of Wintersun. How you doing today, brother?
Doing great, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. You guys, it's been a long, long journey. Finally, the new album, The Forest Seasons, would be out in the next couple of weeks. Years
Yes.
of patience, lot of hard work, and lots of hard work in it. You received a lot of weird vibes from some metalheads, a lot of love from the community worldwide, insanely successful crowdfunding, etc., etc. How the hell is band feeling right now?
Well, we're feeling great at the moment. We've been doing 3 festivals this summer, and we're having 7 more festivals to go, and really cool festivals. Looking forward to them. We're now booking some more shows. We've got 6 club shows in Finland coming up. We haven't played Finland in a long time, so that feels special. We played some festivals, but not really club shows where we get to do full set. So that's nice. And then we have a 5-week European tour booked that goes through 15 countries in the autumn, and getting some more shows booked for the rest of the year and next year. So it feels great to be back in the game. And of course, the crowdfunding, that was really hectic time from already the planning of the crowdfunding, and especially the preparations, like a couple months before the crowdfunding, and the crowdfunding time itself. Really long days, but really was great to see. Like you said, a lot of criticism in a way as well, but it was really nice to see some people's opinions turning during the crowdfunding, as they saw more of the documentary telling more about the whole idea of the crowdfunding, why we were doing it, and all those reasons. So it felt really great to get so much support for all the fans, and we're really grateful for everybody who has supported us so far.
Absolutely, man. When I look back at the days, I still get goosebumps that a band from Finland, you have so many fans worldwide, and you just crashed the entire crowdfunding thing with like insane. I'm sure when you look back at it, you must be thinking, how the hell, I still get goosebumps when I think about it, because it's not something that can be easily achieved. There's a lot of effort and also a lot of trust when it comes to fans, because in the end, it's them that's keeping the band alive.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of funny, because in the first place, fans were the ones who actually suggested the crowdfunding in Facebook comments, and we were first like, maybe we've seen some kind of bad examples of crowdfundings not really working for bands, and we didn't want to do something kind of halfway, and we didn't want to either kind of get money from the fans and say that, yeah, we're gonna give you some your money's worth later on. So we wanted to first make really confident package and offer fans the kind of content that we knew that our fans are going to love. So that's why we took a lot of time preparing the products and planning the whole thing, and getting help from like social media professionals and people who had been working with crowdfundings before, and a lot of research of the previous crowdfundings that have happened in the music industry. And I think what was helping us was, of course, the music. We had the new album to offer that was already made, and then we spent a lot of time and effort to make the documentary series, really telling the story of the band and the story of the new album, and also the story behind the album, I think, is kind of interesting with the season. So I think that all created kind of a nice buzz and
Absolutely,
interest.
man. You guys crushed it with the new album. That's all I can say, because I've been listening to it from the last couple of weeks, and it's going to become like my daily jam. And I'm sure when it's going to be out, fans are going to lose their shit, because it is. I kind of feel it's a return to the sound, which I feel is similar to the self-titled album, rather than an extension of the work laid out on time. I'm sure that would have been your idea, to basically move into a different territory and yet keep Wintersun's sound alive and kicking.
Yes, exactly. I definitely agree on that. That it's more towards the first album's like sound in production-wise, but it has definitely more, edge to it, in a way that it's more it has more progressive things and more kind of epic stuff that you heard on Time One, and I think in a whole it's kind of it's definitely the natural evolution of the band. Even when the Jari was starting the songwriting, the idea was to make kind of something really raw and kind of like black metal, kind of primitive stuff, but still, in the end, it, to me at least, it sounds like a very natural continuation in a way, kind of a mix of the first albums, some of the feels on the first album and some of the riff styles, and then mixing some of the more synth and orchestration oriented feelings of Time One as well.
Absolutely, man. You said about writing something black metal-esque, but when I listen to this album, I can clearly feel that you guys are toying with some darker sounds on the tail end of the album, with some very black metal-esque riffs, and particularly on the Eternal Darkness, that is the autumn song, and the result kind of feels more dark and brooding affair that works phenomenally. I mean, I'm sure this. Is this an idea that you thought of using before, or it just came out of nowhere?
I'm not sure how conscious decision that was. I mean, Jari has been a big black metal fan since a long time, and probably the frustration with not being able to complete Time 2 and all that kind of getting into near burnout or maybe even a bit of burnout, that probably resulted in a bit dark atmosphere of the songwriting that Jari was doing at that time, and also just personal things like Eternal Darkness was very much influenced by Jari's father's death. He died during autumn time, so that was inspiring the song and about death and writing from death's perspective and that, so then of course the song has to be very dark musically as well.
Absolutely, man, and the overall arrangements as always are phenomenal. I mean, you guys have demonstrated that you're still the masters at creating a fully immersive wall of sound that is not only quick to and capture listeners, but also maintain that unwavering interest in it. I mean, it almost feels like there's a great emphasis on the guitars and the drum sections on the album. Was it like a matter of you wanting those sections to be first and foremost this time around?
Not so much. I mean, again, not that conscious decision, but production-wise, we knew that we can't make such a huge, orchestral Hollywood type of sound that was on Time 1 and Time 2. So, of course, then that gave more space in a way to drums having more stuff going on and more place for the guitar arrangements as well. And I'm glad to hear you appreciate the arrangements so much. I personally think also Jari is kind of a master of arranging things. He's got a very special way of writing riffs and stuff. Often when he makes a riff, he has like dozens of variations out of the same thing before he kind of sets down with one idea that, okay, this is what I'm going to use, and then he likes to variate things and really pays attention to kind of make the arrangement interesting throughout the song and making this kind of thread kind of that follows through the whole song. So yeah.
Talking about the sound, obviously, there's still great importance to the grand soundscapes, that epic orchestral arrangements that you guys are known for. The meticulous ways in which the different orchestral elements are added or removed to these songs highlight the complexities of constructing an album like this, and probably demonstrates how impressive the band is at creating these compositions. Like you said, Jari is the master of creating it.
Yeah, and I think Jari has evolved a lot with this as well. When he started with the orchestrations, I mean, of course, the first album has synths and kind of orchestrations, but after starting to work on Time 1 and the Time albums, then he really kind of studied a lot how to arrange stuff and kind of started from scratch, listening to his favorite movie soundtracks and trying to kind of pick things from here and there and the kind of instruments that he liked to hear, and not really follow any kind of particular school book or something like how you would learn to compose classically or something, but really kind of combining the kind of sounds from the inspirations that he had, and I think he has developed kind of a special style with the orchestration as well, and now having been doing it now for years, then of course it's getting easier to do because he doesn't have to use so much time for finding the right sound that he has in his head, but he kind of has the sound palette already there, and that makes composing also easier nowadays.
Absolutely, man. How about your contribution to the record? I heard a lot of good leads, like interestingly that gel around really well with the essence, the vibe the song has. So how was it working with Jari this time on this when it comes to just 4 songs and it's like a journey altogether?
Right. Well, all of the guitars on the album are Jari, and the bass as well, and the programming. So this time the music was made pretty much all in Jari's head and then executed pretty much in his own little studio flat apartment. One reason for that was the budget, for sure. We wanted to not to waste too much time in a third-party studio, but really see what we can do with the current resources and do it ourselves. Where then more the band participated was, for example, the acoustic version of Loneliness. That's what we did together with Jari at my workspace at Sonic Pump Studios, where I played a lot of the acoustic guitar tracks for that song. But then more than with the live stuff and all the crowdfunding stuff, that's where we then started working more as a unit after Jari had pretty much done the songs already.
Cool, man. That sounds really great. And is there any specific reason that you guys structured the album to begin with more of a happier vibe, with spring and summer before closing out with autumn and winter? Because I feel like the climax in the Awaken from the Dark Slumber or even in The Forest That Weeps would have worked really well as an album closer.
Yeah, I think it could be the other way around as well. I think you're right there, but I think it has a cool drama going from the kind of darker beginning of the Awaken from the Dark Slumber, where the forest is still kind of sleeping and it's still kind of pretty dark musically as well, and then going to the Eternal Darkness, being that really dark and haunting song, and then closing with the kind of beautiful and calm Loneliness. That we kind of wanted to leave as the last song. I think it's the kind of song that maybe it has a bit of that feeling of kind of emptiness. You kind of want to go back to the beginning of the album after hearing that.
Cool, man. That's a really good way of putting it. You guys have not released any full song. You're just releasing these snippets. Would you be releasing any song before the release, or are you just gonna give it to them right on the day of the release?
We were thinking about this, but since the songs are so long, it doesn't really make sense to do a single of 15-minute song. So we're gonna put it all out on the 21st. That's when the crowdfunders are gonna get their download links, and that's when those that have ordered on the physical version pre-sale are hopefully gonna have their album shipped at their home, and that's when the album is gonna be for sale on the stores as well. So it's all the songs at the same time.
Man, that's a brave move if you ask me, and I'm sure fans are going to love it. I mean, I love the production, as you said. I mean, it's very well balanced. No elements being overpowering at any point of time. And I love how the drums are sounding on this. It kind of feels like that it's an integral piece of overall puzzle that strikes a perfect balance of never coming, over the top while never being diluted in the mix as well.
Yeah, I think Jari really succeeded well with this one, and like he has said also himself that this is the first album that he's really 100% satisfied so far with the work that he's done musically, and I think everything is sounding just like it's supposed to sound on this album. That said, that sound, a lot of people are asking, what then if this is perfect sound, why don't we finish time 2 with the same sound? Well, that's because it's totally different style of music, different style of production, and these sounds would never work with time 2, and time 2 sounds would definitely not work with the Forest Seasons album. But with Forest Seasons, we are really happy with everything on it. Yeah.
Absolutely. That was my next question. That when you set a bar so high with time, and then you have something like the Forest Season coming out, which is if not better than time, at least to that level, which fans are going to definitely love. Again, it's that sort of an expectations that fans have invested in the band, that Wintersun is never going to disappoint, and here you are on 21st going to unleash 4 songs. I'm sure you guys must be like, we just can't wait for July 21st anymore.
Yeah, of course it's there's some little stressful things like how the downloads are going to work, but we've got some good theme of handling that, and it's going to be really special day getting this whole thing out, and I'm really looking forward to hear how people are going to react. And I think it's been kind of special also that the album hasn't leaked, or at least we haven't heard that it would have been leaked, and that's also nice. I think also for the fans that having that little bit of surprise element. And,
yeah, absolutely. It kind of reminds me of a similar vibe that, in fact, I did this in a review as well. That when the Guns N' Roses released Chinese Democracy, there was this long creation that happened, but that over resulting in a hype that was created for years and years because GNR are going to release an album. And when you think of something like this, with a long gap since the time came out, and obviously the debut album as well, how does the band feel that how some of the fans are going to handle Forest Seasons with the kind of expectations they had from, with time they loved it, and they're expecting time too, which is not the case with Forest Seasons. How's the band feeling with that sort of considering this as an entering album? And obviously some might consider that, okay, this might be the follow-up to Time, which is not the case. So how's the band feeling about this catch-22 situation?
Well, we're hoping that people keep an open mind and listen to the album as just as music as it is, and not to compare it too much maybe to the first 2 albums. I think people are gonna recognize definitely that it's Wintersun, but it's definitely something new. It's something old. It's I think people are gonna find it special in a way, and hopefully it satisfies some of the hunger now waiting for Time 2 and the other future albums.
Absolutely, man. Now, I had a question about vocals. I don't know whether you would be knowing. I'm still gonna toss it over to you. It's the arrangements. It's really interesting once again, especially the chorus parts, where I feel that Jari has enhanced the record with his voice really well, and one of the very few vocalists that can actually change from such a wonderful harsh vocal delivery to something more relaxed and calm. I can only think of Devin Townsend. That comes to my mind when I see him doing that. With these small doses throughout the album, what sort of delivery was it when you were with Jari listening to this album for the first time with his vocals? What was your response? What was your feedback to him?
I really love Jari's vocals on this one as well. I think he has again developed a lot since the time vocal recordings, both as a clean vocalist and also as a harsh vocalist. And with this album now we had also Jukka contributing to some of the lower growls, and I was doing some of the higher growls as well. And then we had the big group gang, a lot of guys at Sonic Pump Studios doing the Forest That Weeps chorus, really big sound. And then we did some 3-man choir with Jari and Jukka as well, for a few different parts. So all in all, it was more kind of varied vocal stuff as well. But I think definitely Jari's voice has developed, his technique has developed, and also I think the way that he kind of can relate to the lyrics, that has developed as well. That he's not thinking so much anymore, or doesn't have to think so much about the performance or the technical things, but he can really feel the lyrics and really kind of project the feelings more.
Absolutely, man. With obviously the drummer would be touring with Nightwish next year. They have a huge touring plan, and obviously I'm sure Wintersun is going to go worldwide with the tour. Would there be any sort of clash, or you guys have already sorted out when he's going to be on tour with Nightwish and then come back and do the tour with Wintersun?
Yes, that's what we've been agreeing with Kai, that he's now doing the Nightwish tour starting in, I think, March until December or so. It's a long tour with, of course, some gaps in between, but he has to stay home with his family a little bit as well. So we're gonna have Teemu, who's been helping us now that Kai's has been having his hand injured. So Teemu has agreed to help us next year, and if something happens with Teemu, then we have a couple other guys also who we've been talking with, who could step in if needed and help us until Kai gets back.
Awesome, man. What are the plans of touring states? Is there anything that's happening at the moment, or you're still just focusing on the European and the UK region?
We are definitely coming to the US and Canada, North America, and also many other places that we haven't ever played before, hoping to do Australia and Asia and other places as well where we haven't been. But definitely North America is our strong market, so we are definitely we've been spending a little bit more time on planning that tour. That's why it hasn't been announced yet, but hopefully getting there still before the end of this year or early 2018.
Awesome, man, awesome. With respect to live performance, there are some parts on the album that are larger absences of singing. And how is Jari going to deal with those parts? Because those gaps are when you're performing these lives, what's he going to do on stage?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think everyone, including ourselves, we were kind of thinking that how it's going to be. He's so used to having the guitar there with him, but he's been taking it exceptionally well. I think he's got this natural charisma now that he doesn't have the guitar to worry about all the time. Now he can really engage more with the audience, which is actually cool for him. He's already been doing that, of course, with the guitar, but now those gaps that you mentioned without vocals, he can really go to the front of stage and go side from side and of course interact a lot with the fans. And I think he's getting better and better at that now. Already the 3 shows that we did with this new lineup and new setup, I think he's been doing really well with that.
Awesome, man. Before we conclude, if you had to sum up the forest seasons in a sentence, what would you say?
Oh. I would say it's primitive, raw, magical epicness from the forest.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Buddy, thank you so much, man. My first interaction with you, obviously I've done with Jari in the past, but glad that I get to have a chat with you. Got a much deeper analysis of the album. I love it, and on 21st, I'm sure fans are going to lose their shit. And I just wish you guys good luck with tour, and I hope you get to come to India someday and play for your fans here.
Yes, we definitely hope that as well, as we get to do India as well. And I'm so glad to hear that you like the album so much. Pleasure to talk with you, and hope to see you someday.
Someday, dude, man, absolutely. Take care of yourself, and I'll catch you on road someday.
Cool.
Take care,
Talk
buddy.
to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.